I tested many magazine title options for my magazine and used influences from my house/dance music genre to create an appropriate name. Magazines such as DJ, Mixmag and Electro have names which make the genre of the magazine fairly obvious. I wanted to use this idea as well as the popular technique of using the first letter of words to create a short, memorable title out of a longer, more informative alternative. Therefore, I decided on DMC as my title, as an abbreviated version of Dance Music Central. I made the magazine title name central on the page as it was not long enough to reach both sides, yet aligns well with the strong pose adopted in the main image. For the title of the magazine and the majority of cover lines, I wanted to use a simple, clear font which would look more put together and slick than a dishevelled or hard-hitting font, such as the one used in rock magazines, e.g. Kerrang or Classic Rock. I then used a separate font on my main feature cover line, which was continuously used throughout the magazine to unify house style. The font I used differs greatly from other cover lines to imply its importance as the main article. It's also made larger than other cover lines to take up more of the page. This shows significance. Magazines such as Mixmag use this technique and usually give the artist's name prominence through fonts and size as well. I used multiple cover lines on my front page because although the look of a dance music magazine is stereotypically more organised than those of an indie or rock genre, there are usually between 3 to 5 cover lines excluding the main feature. The pages look simple yet interesting. The numbers on the cover line, 101 Biggest Dance Anthems, is larger to emphasise the amount and shorten the time it takes for the reader to have their attention grabbed. The gradient boxes and red highlight around Tomorrowland 10th anniversary are used for the same effect. They attract attention and contrast the darker shades within the image, while still emulating some shades of colour of the model's dress. The background of the main image is fairly dark, as this is a common feature of dance music magazines because it mirrors the night time, which is a time often favoured by the target audience, as this is when they go out and listen to this music. The pose of the woman is very strong and assertive, reflecting the attitude of many women in the dance music industry. This also reflects the way it makes its followers feel. Her hair, makeup and outfit looks as if she is going out and looks more polished than an indie or rock artist would. The artificial lighting within the image highlights her face and expression, almost as a spotlight on a DJ would. I used the medium shot, although a variety of shots are used on dance and house music magazines, so there was no strict convention to follow. I have decided to have my magazine published weekly because that is not currently targeted by magazines of a similar genre. This means that I should have between 30 and 40 pages in my magazine. This also affects the pricing of my magazine, of which I have decided to charge £2.99. This is lower than Mixmag due to its more often publishing, but it's higher than NME because of the limited competition. I use the colour black for the background because Mixmag also does this, and it works well with the dark background of my main image on the front page. I used one large image which takes up 2 columns to represent the main article within the magazine, with another smaller image for an inside story and a final image for the DMC competition. There are not a great deal of images because overcrowding the contents page to emulate those of other genres would not follow the simple house style of a dance music magazine. The font used for the main body of writing as the list is the same as the font used on the front cover. It is not an overly stylistic font, it's simple and keeps the attention on the images. It's white so that it contrasts with the background. Music magazines will not use similar colours for their background and font as it makes it difficult to read. The page numbers are larger than the article title and help create an organised, orderly aesthetic. Numbers are also placed on the images to ensure that the reader knows the page number and article which the image relates to. I used the same font on both the front page and DPS for the number on the main feature image, so that they could all be easily identified as related. I used the glow around the contents on this page to make it differ from the other text. This effect is also used on the front page and therefore using the same colour glow creates an aspect of house style. I used a similar layout to Mixmag as the target audience and genre of this magazine is very similar to the one of mine, and therefore as a popular magazine I decided that this layout is favoured by this genre and therefore is appropriate for my magazine. I used a white box on the first double page spread as it has a dark image for the background instead of using white font so that it flowed well into the second double page. Double page spreads do not usually change font colour between pages. They also include design features to create a more interesting and professional look. To adhere to this convention, I used a small red smoke effect on the main image. I used the colour red because it's also used on my front page and contents page, and using a colour that goes throughout the magazine helps to unify the house style. I made the title of the article larger than the main body of text and introductory lines, so that it's obvious to the reader that this is the title and it looks prominent on the page. The image stretches over both pages, and this is frequently seen in music magazines. I made sure that the face was not over the centrefold of the page, and that the text was placed somewhere which would not obstruct anything important within the image. Another design feature I used was the small white arrow detailing to indicate that the next page has the rest of the article on it. I also used a text wrap around an image on my second double page spread and used a pull quote. Pull quotes can be seen on almost every double page spread and are therefore a convention of music magazines which I needed to include in my double page spread. I made the text of the question red because many other magazines do this, and it leads to a more distinctive difference between question and answer. I also did the name of the magazine, the issue month and the page number at the bottom of the page to make navigation around the magazine easier. I put white font on the black background and black font on the white background to make it visually more pleasing. I used the quote as the title for the article because this is seen in many magazines, particularly music ones, in order to display the personality of the artist that the article is about.